Happiness is an inside job. It's not about the noise around you, the people you surround yourself with, or the approval you chase from others. It's about the peace you build within. The truth is, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It doesn't mean you're lacking anything or anyone. It means you have the chance to meet someone remarkable. You. And once you meet yourself, once you truly understand who you are and what makes your heart beat, you realize that happiness isn't something out there waiting for you to find it. It's something you cultivate. It's a garden you tend every single day. There's a power in solitude. It's not something to fear. It's not a punishment. It's an opportunity. When you're alone, you don't have to answer to anyone else's expectations. You don't have to play by anyone else's rules. That's the time when you get to strip away the noise and ask yourself, what do I want? Who am I really? Because we spend so much time being what others need us to be, at work, in relationships, in society, that we forget what it feels like to just be. Alone time gives you permission to find that out. Now, I know some people hear the word alone, and it makes them anxious. It makes them think of an empty room, silence so loud it echoes. But that silence, that's your greatest teacher. It's the space where you can hear the truth about yourself. You've got to sit in it. You've got to let it speak to you, because that's where the magic happens. That's where you confront the fears, the doubts, the insecurities. And once you face those, you realize they don't have power over you anymore. You don't need anyone else to quiet them for you. You quiet them yourself. That's freedom. Some people spend their whole lives running from solitude. They fill their days with distractions, chasing relationships, chasing validation, because they're afraid of what might happen if they stop, if they're alone with their thoughts for even a second. But let me tell you something. There's nothing to fear about yourself. You've got to stop running. Stop looking for someone else to complete you, to tell you you're good enough. Because the moment you stop running and face yourself is the moment you realize you were enough all along. Happiness doesn't come from someone walking into your life and saying, here it is, here's your joy, here's your worth. No, it comes from you walking into your own life and saying, I am enough, I am whole, I've got everything I need inside of me. And when you start living like that, when you start owning that truth, the world starts to feel different, brighter, fuller, because you're no longer looking for someone else to fill your cup. You're filling it yourself, and it's overflowing. Here's the thing about being alone. It's a chance to dream, to imagine a life that's yours, a life that isn't built on what others think you should do, but on what you want to do. What's that passion that's been sitting in the back of your mind? That thing you've been saying you'll get to someday? Solitude gives you the time to bring that dream to life. It's a chance to invest in yourself, to learn, to grow, to become. You're not just existing, you're building. You're creating a foundation so strong that when the world tries to shake you, you stand firm. When people come and go, you don't crumble. Because your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else. It's rooted in who you are. But let me be real with you. It's not always easy. There are going to be nights when it feels heavy, when you wonder why it seems like everyone else is out there laughing, living, while you're sitting alone. But let me tell you, those nights are a gift, because those are the moments that teach you resilience. They teach you that you can sit with the discomfort and not let it break you. You can feel the loneliness and know it's not the end of the world. It's just a moment, and moments pass. And every time you make it through, you get a little stronger, a little more sure of yourself. You've got to learn to love your own company, to enjoy the little things, reading a book, watching a movie, taking a walk, just breathing in the world around you. There's so much beauty in simplicity, in slowing down and being present. We live in a world that's always telling us to go faster, do more, be more. But when you're alone, you can step off that treadmill. You can find joy in the quiet moments, the ones that so many people overlook because they're too busy chasing the next thing. Oof. Don't overlook them. Those moments are where happiness lives. And here's something else. You got to forgive yourself for the mistakes, for the missteps, for the times you think you should have done better. Because when you're alone, it's easy for those thoughts to creep in, to start replaying everything you wish you could change. But you've got to let it go. You're human. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to learn, to grow, to keep moving forward. So give yourself grace, be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like you'd treat a friend, with compassion and understanding. When you learn to be happy alone, you don't settle. You don't let loneliness push you into relationships or situations that don't serve you. You don't need someone else to validate your worth because you've already done that for yourself. And that's the kind of happiness that lasts. The kind that doesn't waver when life gets hard or when people walk away. Because it's not built on anything external. It's built on you. So, if you're sitting here wondering how to be happy alone, the answer is simple, but it's not always easy. You've got to choose it. You've got to wake up every day and decide to show up for yourself, to take care of your mind, your body, your soul, to chase your passions, to face your fears, to keep growing. You've got to make the choice to see solitude not as a void, but as a gift of time, of space, of freedom. And once you do that, once you start walking that path, you'll realize something incredible. You'll realize that being alone isn't a limitation, it's liberation. It's not the absence of something, it's the presence of everything you need to be whole. And that, my friend, is a happiness that no one can take away. So, as you stand here today, take this with you. Being alone is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a journey into yourself. A chance to discover the strength, the beauty, and the power that's been inside you all along. Happiness isn't something you find in the world or in someone else. It's something you build step by step from within. When you learn to love your own company, when you find peace in your own presence, you unlock a freedom most people never know. So don't run from solitude. Lean into it. Let it teach you, let it grow you, and let it show you just how capable you are. Because when you find happiness in yourself, you don't just live, you thrive. And when you thrive, nothing in this world can shake the foundation you've built. That's the kind of joy that lasts. That's the kind of joy you deserve.